Good day from Isan again. This is the second of the videos I wanted to do today on the plants that we've used in the tropical garden, and this is a new bit of the garden. This land we started work on in January last year. So the plants you see here are about 16 months old, apart from a few of the bigger trees. The rest of it has been developed over the last year and a bit. So I want to quickly take you around, hopefully quickly, take you around, just show some of the highlights of the plants that we've used. And you can have a look. I mean, the idea of this video is that you not only see the plants, you actually see them in context in a garden, which is so much more useful than just trying to pick plants in a garden centre, where they're sort of all, you don't actually see them in their proper environment or what they can do. So I hope this video is going to be useful for the keen gardeners out there who want to do something a little bit along the lines of what we've done. So these are shade plants here. We've got a coconut tree, which provides a lot of shade, and then behind it there's a jackfruit tree. So this is quite a shady area, and there's a mango just above me here. It's a pretty shady area, and the plants really reflect that. These are broadleaf plants, which do well in this sort of environment. So once again, Gunna's used boat lilies or oyster plants to line the edge of the paths to hide the concrete strip that holds the bricks in place, which has worked really well. I love some of these. I try to buy some of these plants to have more sort of, a break in the constant green that you see. These are lovely. We bought these for 50 baht each, $2 each. And they've grown, they've more than doubled in size since we've got them. They're a year old. They're actually called Heart of Jesus, which is funny in a Buddhist country, or angel wings. But they definitely do better in the shade. Just beautiful colours, just love them. The bigger plants behind are called Chinese evergreen. As I said in my last video, you've got to take my names with a grain of salt, because they might be right, they might not, I don't know. I've used a terrific, in theory, a terrific iPad software package called PhotoThis, which is an app you can download. It does cost money, but they give you 7 days free trial, which is what I'm doing to get the names of these plants. And I won't probably proceed with, actually, it's $20 US a year, but once I've identified all the plants, I won't need it again. So terrific app, has been pretty well spot on, I think, with a lot of the plants I've shown you here. So I'm talking too much. We'll move on. These are the again, I mentioned these in the last video, Hawaiian tea plants, lovely colours. More of the Chinese evergreens here. Hawaiian tea plant. These are snake plants here. Now these, I would come down this path because I really wanted to talk to you about these plants, because they might catch you out. They caught me out. They're actually called dragon blood tree, and you'll notice that they're actually called a tree. So you might buy these because they start off at ground level like this, and they look like just a fern that's going to sit on the ground. But if you look underneath, can you see the trunk that's starting to form? So these actually come out of the ground, and they end up a tree that could be 4 or 5 meters high, and that sort of fern look actually it grows branches, and that fern look actually transfers onto the branches. So you get a sort of it's a very tropical tree. I'm looking forward to seeing it. But it's not going to be ground cover, which is what I originally thought it was going to be. These are beautiful ferns. You buy these for 100 baht each. I'm not sure of the name of them. They have to be in the shade. They really hate the sun. They'll dry up, and all the leaves will burn off. So yeah, this part of the garden, I've said this in a previous video, this part of the garden I styled on the Jim Thompson house in Bangkok. Jim Thompson was an American who reinvigorated the silk trade in Thailand. I wanted these sort of paths to wander through, but then to have real tropical sort of growth, to give the garden a very different feel from the other half of the land, which is a much more formal sort of garden that I covered in my previous video. These are shining birds of paradise, and they come under a general heading of birds of paradise, and they have different coloured plants. This one has been identified as shining birds of paradise and has these gorgeous orange flowers, and they last for months. These plants, they're 3 meters high, a bit over, so they've done that in a year. What happens is though that the leaves, the leaves will die off, so the adult leaves will die off, but then while the leaves at the top are dying, underneath you've got a whole stack of new growth happening that'll quickly sprout and replace the old stuff. Like you can see these ones here. So these are new ones. They're just coming up. They're super fast growing. They're like a sort of banana leaf. So they will replace these ones, which you have to cut eventually and burn. More of the mass planting to keep the weeds under control. As I said in my last video, we get no weeds here. This ground cover, which you see everywhere, keeps the weeds totally under control. So this sort of garden room has been created by these birds of paradise plants to give this incredible sort of shaded, sort of walled feel to this area, which is a lovely seating area. And then looking, this is one of my favourite views I've shown you in a previous video. The yellow plants that Guen's once again done mass planting for the weed, to keep weeds under control. They're called golden dewdrops, and really successful. Grow quickly. They'll grow tall, but Guen keeps them trimmed down to this sort of level to give this this sort of look. All the new growth is that lovely yellow, and the older growth underneath is a green. Yeah, we covered that last video. Oh, ice cream, excellent. This will eventually be an avenue, and it'll be created by these golden palms, which I covered in the last video. These plants here, difficult name, it's Hedges Syzygium. Probably nothing like that, but anyway, it's HANCE', Hedges, and then it's SYZYGIUM. I'll cover it in the blog post, so it's a lot easier than trying to pronounce it. These are east-west palms. They're 4 meters high. They're just a shade over a year old. They too they grow a trunk, like a tree trunk, and they come out of the ground, and they will grow to twice that height eventually once the tree trunk gets going. These are the hedging plants I showed you in the last video. These are actually left alone, they'll turn into trees, but we'll keep them trimmed. Gun will keep them trimmed, and in a year's time this will be a solid hedge with there are two doorways that'll sort of go through into the rest of the garden. These are copperleaf, and this particular bed Gun keeps at this sort of height. If you let them go, they'll grow to 2 meters. If they're in the sun, they do turn this sort of coppery colour. If they're in the shade, they tend to stay green. At the back, you've got a wall of bougainvillea. These were planted a bit over a year ago. We bought 3 for 100 baht, so about $1.20 each in Australian terms. They've been flowering since late last year. I'm going to miss out on the ice cream because I'm talking to you. They've been flowering since late last year and still going. They've put on a metre and a half in the last 12 months. What else can I show you? We'll quickly go down here because I just want to show you how Gun's used these ones. I'll put these ones on the... I forgot about these. I'll put these ones on the blog for you. I can't remember the name of them, but they're gorgeous, lovely colour. These are bougainvilleas again. This is a Madagascar almond tree, and lovely shade tree. Gets hit by borers, so you have to keep an eye on them. They'll grow. They look terrific. They'll be growing fine, and then suddenly a whole branch drops off. It's been attacked by borers. They turn into a spreading, just a beautiful spreading shade tree, and we've got them scattered throughout the garden. In another 3 years, I'm hoping you won't see a lot of sky in this garden. You don't want sky in Thailand, far too hot. Yeah, I wanted to show you what Gun's done. These are mother-in-law tongue, and Gun's done a whole pathway with them. So rather than just have them individually in pots, you can do something like this, which is a terrific feature. We will get around to paving this path eventually. These plants we actually picked up for free, as far as I know. Someone in the village wanted to get rid of them. Isan people aren't keen on plants that you can't eat. So we scored this lot. Well, I think we may have paid 100 baht or something for them. And once they're in the ground, they're just up and away. Aloe vera in the background, can you see those? Yeah. Aloe vera plants. And then you get an idea of what will be that hedge. And then the golden palms. And then round, I'll just quickly do this bit. You can see the sort of hedge forming here, and then with the archway that'll go through the hedge eventually and lead you through to a different part of the garden. We'll just go back, more of the bird of paradise. Beautiful colours. They flower a lot of the year. And at the back, 2 avocado trees. These are only a year old, and they're over 2 meters high. 3 years before they fruit, I'm told. Although I'm also told you need a male and a female, so these may never fruit. Who knows? Anyway, we'll see what happens. And to finish off, we'll just head to the back of the garden. Once again, these mother-in-laws combined with boat lilies or oyster plants to give this lovely path effect, and more golden palms. In 2 years' time, these will be 4 meters high and providing a lot of shade. This comes through to a rose garden. Yes, you can grow roses in Thailand. They've been hit a little bit by the heat. We've had 3-4 weeks around the 40 degrees, so they weren't entirely happy with that, but they'll be fine. And they flower a lot of the year, a little bit quiet over the cool season. The cool season in the north of Thailand is cool-ish, and lasts from about November through to early to mid-February. Then at the back you've got more bird of paradise, which is forming a hedge. Gun's done a lot of this sort of mass planting, so that rather than have individual plants, you get like a hedge effect, which breaks the garden into different compartments. Really nice. These were all free. Someone in the village remarried, and her new husband didn't like them, so we got them. It's a lovely Isan water pot, and more of those bird of paradise. Another couple of Madagascar almond trees. Heading back down to that seating area. And then I wanted to just quickly talk about this. It's a mango tree, obviously more than a year old. It's been here for quite a while. And just on the topic of mangoes, mango trees, lovely shade trees, grow big, or can grow big. But they're hard work in a garden environment. If you're after a sort of, if you've got a lawn area and you've got a few mango trees, these things drop leaves and twigs, and branches die off and fall off for a lot of the year, and in mass amounts over the cool season, just sweeping every day. So they're messy trees. So if you've got a big block of land and they're just sort of out in the wilderness, no problem at all. If you're looking for easy life, then mangoes may not be the way to go. And I know what you're thinking. You're moving to Thailand, you're a tropical country, and what you want to do is pick, fresh mangoes from your own tree. Well, it's all very good in theory. If you don't want the work that goes with the mango trees, when your mangoes are being able to be picked, so is everyone else's. So you can pick up mangoes for practically free. People are almost giving them away. Everyone's got mangoes. So, it's a nice sort of psychological thing, sort of saying, I'm picking my own mangoes. But the reality is you can go down to the markets and pick get a kilo of mangoes for 20 baht, and then you don't have to sweep the leaves under your bloody mango trees. So, yep, I love them, but they're not necessarily easy to. They're constant work. Another Madagascar almond tree, and the trees at the back. I'll probably get a better view here. These are Dokun's golden shower trees. These are over 4 meters tall now. They're a bit over a year old. Lovely bushy trees, quick growing obviously. Will provide lovely shade to this area. This is facing east, so morning sun. And they've helped create what I wanted in this corner of the land, which is, just before we go, that tree you see in the background, which is also be about 4 meters tall, is a kaffir lime tree. Lovely tropical tree, as is that tree in front of the huge tree is also another kaffir lime. Mangoes here. These are mangoes for Gun and Bang. They're slightly sour, crispy. They don't turn yellow. But through here, this is the another of these sort of tropical areas, just shady, green, lush, created with birds of paradise, oyster plants, and these are galangay, and then you've got mango and the dokun, the golden shower trees, creating the upper canopy. These mangoes here, these are mine. These are my mangoes. They will turn into the sweet yellow ones that you get in all the supermarkets in Western countries. The bare area at the back is bare now, but in the wet season we'll get ginger. Ginger comes up, looks like this. So that area will be covered with green in another few months. And it's a small ginger, little baby ginger. You dig up the roots, used in Thai cooking. Just looking through my list. Yeah, I think we covered everything. I'm sure I've missed stuff, but anything I have missed or more detailed things, I will pop in the blog post so that you can pick it up there. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope it's been useful. And I hope someone provides some feedback because that's really nice. I do enjoy it. Okay, all the best. Cheers.